Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Statara Sri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya.
No, yes. Why not?
Oh, that, excuse me, but that's rose water.
Oh,
thank you.
Drink?
No, no, thank you. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astu Terazata Sri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakha Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chita Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sakarjatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidhangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Dena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. Okay. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Hari Bol. Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupade Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now we've come to chapter 6 in the Antya Lila first volume, the meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunath Das Goswami. A summary of this chapter is given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya as follows. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into transcendental fits of ecstatic love, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami attended to him and satisfied him as he desired. Raghunath Das Goswami had been attempting to come to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for a long time, and finally he left his home and met the Lord. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Shantipur on his way to Vrindavan, Raghunath Das Goswami had offered to dedicate his life at the Lord's lotus feet. In the meantime, however, a Muslim official became envious of Hiranyadas, Raghunath Das Goswami's uncle, and induced some big official court minister to have him arrested. Nothing new. Thus Hiranyadas left his home, but by the intelligence of Raghunath Das, the misunderstanding was mitigated. Then Raghunath Das went to Panihati, and following the order of Nityananda Prabhu, he observed a festival, the Chittadadi Mahotsav, by distributing chipped rice mixed with yogurt. The day after the festival, Nityananda Prabhu gave Raghunath Das the blessing that he would very soon attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After this incident, Raghunath Das, with the help of his priest, whose name was Yadunandanacharya, got out of his house by trickery and thus ran away. Not touching the general path, Raghunath Das Goswami secretly went to Jagannath Puri. After 12 days, he arrived in Jagannath Puri at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So everything has its time and circumstance. And sometimes we have to be patient. And I heard this morning Srila Guru Maharaj was saying to some of the devotees who had been very much disenchanted with how things were going within the ISKCON structure after the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada. And he said, Srila Guru Maharaj had very, very amazing instruction. He said, we may not like that a certain situation will come about, but if it does, we must see that the Lord's will is playing there. And then we must find the way that we should proceed according to the sincerity of our hearts. It's a very beautiful instruction. So Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, no, you cannot join me now. This is not good. You're not thinking in a sober way at this time. And then, but then the right time came, and everything was adjusted, and that environment came whereby Raghunath Das Goswami could properly meet with Mahaprabhu and stay under his shelter. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted Raghunath Das Goswami to Swarup Damodar Goswami. Therefore, another name for Raghunath Das Goswami is Swarupera Raghu, or the Raghunath of Swarup Damodar. For 5 days, Raghunath Das Goswami took prasadam in the temple, but later he would stand at the Singladwar gate and eat only whatever he could gather by alms. So he could take prasadam at the temple. It costs something. But there's much that is given to beggars also. So he thought, why am I paying? I don't want to be involved with this payment money thing. So he stood at the Singladwar gate as a beggar. Later, he lived by taking alms from various chatras or food distributing centers. When Raghunath's father received news of this, he sent some men and money, but Raghunath Das refused to accept the money. Understanding that Raghunath Das Goswami was living by begging from the chatras, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented him with his own Gunjamala and a stone from Govardhan Hill. Thereafter, Raghunath Das Goswami used to eat rejected food that he had collected and washed. This renounced life greatly pleased both Swarup Damodar Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took by some force some of the same food, thus blessing Raghunath Das Goswami for his renunciation. Are you there, Haridev?
I'm here listening.
Okay. Kripa Gunerya Kugrahanda Kupad Udricha Bangya Raghunatha Dasam Nyasya Swarupe Vididentarangam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mamung Prapadje. With the ropes of his causeless mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed a trick to deliver Raghunath Das Goswami from the blind well of contemptible family life. This is a very religious family. But by comparison to the life that Mahaprabhu had in mind for Raghunath Das, this was to be rejected. He made Raghunath Das Goswami one of his personal associates, placing him under the charge of Swarup Damodar Goswami, I offer obeisances unto him. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridev Prabhu,
Yeah, Devi.
can you please turn the cooler off for just now, for this time? Thank you. I'm going to start coughing. E Mata Gora Chandra Bhakta Ganashange Nila Chale Nanya Lila Kare Nanarange. Thus Lord Gaurachandra performed various pastimes with his associates at Jagannath Puri in varieties of transcendental pleasure. Jajapi antare Krishna viyoga badhaye bahire na prakashaya bhakta dukha bhaye. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt pangs of separation from Krishna, he did not manifest his feelings externally, for he feared the unhappiness of his devotees. Utkata viraha dukkha jabe bahiraya tabije vaikalya prabhura varnananayaya. The transformations undergone by the Lord when he manifested severe unhappiness due to separation from Krishna cannot be described. Ramanandera Krishna Kata Swarupera Gana Viraha Vedanaya Prabhu Rakaye Parana. When the Lord acutely felt pangs of separation from Krishna, only Sri Ramananda Rai's talks about Krishna and the sweet songs of Swarup Damodar kept him alive. Dine Prabhu Nana Shange Hai Anyamana Ratre Kale Bade Prabhu Raviraha Vedana. Because the Lord associated with various devotees during the day, his mind was somewhat diverted. But at night, the pangs of separation from Krishna increased very rapidly. Tara Sukha Hetu Shangera Hedui Jana Krishna Rasa Shloka Gite Karena Santvana. Two people, Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, stayed with the Lord to pacify him by reciting various verses about Krishna's pastimes and by singing appropriate songs for his satisfaction. That this was required inconceivable transcendental qualification to understand how to serve the Lord in this type of separation. Shubala Jaiche Purve Krishna Sukhera Sukhaya Gora Shukadana Hetu Taiche Ramaraya. Previously, when Lord Krishna was personally present, Subal, one of his cowherd boyfriends, gave him happiness when the Lord felt separation from Radharani. Similarly, Ramananda Rai helps give happiness to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So some of the cowherd boys have some connection with Madhura Rasa. And some have no awareness about it. They're just boys. They don't care about all that. They're not at all connected with Madhura Rasa. But some of them are somewhat connected. In other words, in their service capacity to Krishna, they can render service in assisting with his pastimes with the Braja Gopis. Some of them. Purve Jaiche Radhara Lalita Sahaya Pradana Taiche Swarupa Gosai Rake Mahaprabhura Prana. Previously, when Srimati Radharani felt the pangs of separation from Krishna, her constant companion Lalita kept her alive by helping her in many ways. Similarly, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt Radharani's emotions, Swarup Damodar Goswami helped him maintain his life. So there is one helping Krishna, helping Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, when he's feeling separation from Radharani. And Swarup Damodar is helping Radharani when she is feeling separation from Krishna. Jaitu janara saubhagya kahananda jaya prabhura antaranga bali jare loke gaya. To describe the fortunate position of Ramananda Rai and Sri Damodar Goswami is very difficult. They were renowned as intimately confidential friends of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we don't want to venture any further. We are simply repeating the verses. E mata vihare gauralanya bhaktagana Raghunatha milana eve shuna bhaktagana. The Lord thus enjoyed his life with his devotees. O devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now hear how Raghunath Das Goswami met the Lord. Purve Shantipure Raghunatha Jabe Aila Mahaprabhu Kripakari Tare Kaila. When Raghunath Das, during his family life, went to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Shantipur, the Lord gave him worthy instructions by his causeless mercy. Prabhura shiksha te deho nija gare jai markata vairagya chari haila bishai prai. Instead of becoming a so-called renunciant, Raghunath Das, following the instructions of the Lord, returned home and played exactly like a pounds and shillings man, like a man who's very, very much caught up in monetary affairs. Bitare vairagya bahire kare sarva karma dekiyata mata pitara anandita mana. Raghunath Das was inwardly completely renounced. Even in family life, he wasn't really involved. But he did not express his renunciation externally. Instead, he acted just like an ordinary businessman, seeing this his mother and father were satisfied. So as part of a duty of a mother and father, according to the religious codes, to make sure that their child is going to be cared for or going to be able to manage to live in this world. But a much higher principle is that he must be able to get out of this world and more high attain a transcendental position. But at least as religious people, they were satisfied that Raghunath Das was going to be doing his duty, making money and not living somewhere, not becoming a lazy person. Matra haite Prabhu aila varta jabe paila Prabhu pasha kalibare udyoga karila. When he received a message that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had returned from Mathura city, Raghunath Das endeavored to go to the lotus feet of the Lord. Henakale mulukera akamle chadikari Saptagrama mulukera sehaya chaudhuri. At that time, there was a Muslim official collecting the taxes of Saptagram. So formerly, when the Muslim government was in power, the person appointed tax collector would collect the taxes of the local zamindars or landowners. He would keep a fourth of the collection for himself as a profit, and the balance he would deliver to the treasury government. So that was the engagement of the tax collectors. So this one was a Muslim man, and this is what happened. Hiranyadasa muluka nila makrari karira Tara adhikara gela mare sedekia. When Hiranyadas, Raghunath's uncle, made an agreement with the government to collect the taxes, the Muslim Chowdhury, or tax collector, having lost his position, became extremely envious of him. Paralaksha deya rajaya sadebisha laksha seturu kichuna panya haila pratipaksha. Hiranyadas was collecting 2 million coins and therefore should have delivered 1,500,000 to the government. Instead, he was giving only 1,200,000, making an extra profit of 300,000 coins. Seeing this, the Muslim Chowdhury, who was a Turk, became his rival. Rajagare kai piya diya ujireya nila Hiranyadas palaila raghunatere bandila. After sending a confidential account to the government treasury, the Chowdhury brought the minister in charge. The Chowdhury came wanting to arrest Hiranyadas, but Hiranyadas had left home. Therefore, the Chowdhury arrested Raghunathdas. So, Hiranyadas, the uncle of Raghunath, heard that he was about to be arrested, and he left. He absconded. And he did not have a son, but Govardhan, his brother, had a son. So between them, it was felt that they had one son between them. So Raghunath was arrested in place of Hiranya. Pratidina Raghunathe karaye bartsana papa jetare ananahe paiba jatana. Every day the Muslim would chastise Raghunathdas and tell him, "Bring your father and his elder brother, otherwise you will be punished." Marite anayade yadide ki Raghunathe panapire jai tabena pare marite. The Chowdhury wanted to beat him, but as soon as he saw Raghunath's face, his mind changed, and he could not beat him. Raghunath was such a pure-hearted soul. So he just couldn't do anything. Visheshe kayasta bujje antare karidara uke tarje garje marite shabaya antara. Indeed, the Chowdhury was afraid of Raghunathdas because Raghunath belonged to the Kayasta community. That was another feature. Although the Chowdhury would chastise him with oral vibrations, he was afraid to beat him. So the Kayastas were the aristocrats, and that community would have retaliated for sure. Tabe Raghunatha kichu chintila upaya pinati kariya kahe semlachapaya. While this was going on, Raghunathdas thought of a tricky method of escape. Thus he humbly submitted this plea at the feet of the Muslim Chowdhury. Amara pita jeta hai tomara dui bai, bai baiye tomara kallaha kara sarvadai. My dear sir, my father and his elder brother are your brothers. All brothers are always fight about something. Kabu kalaha prabhu kabu priti har nishchayanai kali punatina bai hai ba ekatai. Sometimes father brothers fight among themselves, and sometimes they have very friendly dealings. There is no certainty when such changes will take place. Thus I am sure that although today you are fighting, tomorrow you three brothers will be sitting together in peace. Ami jaiche pitara taiche tomara balaka Ame tomara palya, tumi amara palaka. Just as I am my father's son, so I am yours. I am your dependent, and you are my maintainer. Palaka hanya palyere tandite na jujaya, tumi sharva shastra jana, jinda pira praya. For a maintainer to punish the person he maintains is not good. You are expert in all the scriptures. Indeed, you are like a living saint. Atashuni semla chera mana ardrahaila, dadivahi ashrupade kandite lagila. When the Muslim heard Raghunath Das's appealing voice, his heart softened and he began to cry, and tears glided down his beard. Mlechabale aji haite tumi mora putra, aji chadai motoma karyaka shutra. The Muslim Chowdhury told Raghunath Das, you are my son from this day on. Today, by some means, I shall have you released. Ujire kahiya Raghunate chadaila, pritikare Raghunate kahite lagila. After informing the minister, the Chowdhury released Raghunath Das and then began to speak to him with great affection. Tomara jeta nirbuddhi asta lakshakaya, amibagi amare kichu dibare jujaya. Your father's elder brother is less intelligent, he said. He enjoys 800,000 coins, but since I am also a shareholder, he should give some portion to me. I mean, after all, we're related. Jata tumi tomara jetare milaha amare, jemate bala haya karuna dara diluntare. Now you go and arrange a meeting between me and your uncle. Let him do whatever he thinks best. I shall completely depend on his decision. Raghunatha ashita bejetare milaila, mlecha shahita vasha kaila shabashanta haila. Raghunath Das arranged a meeting between his uncle and the Chowdhury. The matter was settled and everything was peaceful. Emat Raghunatha vatsare kagela, Tvitiya vatsare palaite manakaila. In this way, Raghunath Das passed 1 year exactly like a first-class business manager. But the next year, he again decided to leave home. He's done what he was told. Mahaprabhu told him, this is not the time. No, don't be hasty, and this is not the right time for you. Don't be a crazy renunciant. So he's waiting, and he's doing everything nicely at home. Ratre uti akala chaldi la palanya, durahaite pitatare anila dariya. He got up alone one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back. Emate bare bare palaya dariane, tabe tara mata kahe, tara pita sane. This became an almost daily affair. Raghunath would run away from home, and his father would bring him back again. Then Raghunath Das's mother spoke to his father as follows. Putra batula haila ihaya rakala pandiya, tara pita kahe tare nirvina hanya. Our son has become mad, she said. Just keep him by binding him with ropes. His father, being very unhappy, replied to her as follows. Indra sama aishvaja stri apsara sama, eshaba bandite nari lekha jaramana. Raghunath Das, our son, has opulences like Indra. Really, they were very wealthy, like can't believe or how much. So he has opulences like Indra, the heavenly king, and his wife is as beautiful as an apsara, an angel, you could say in English, but yet all this could not tie down his mind. Dadira bandhane tare rakiba ke mate janmadata pitanare parabda kandaite. How then can we keep this boy home by binding him with ropes? If all this is not going to bind him, it is not possible even for one's father to nullify the reactions of one's past activities. I may say this and I may say that and I may order that and I may try to stop it. But his past is coming and carrying him in this direction, away from home. Chaitanya Chandra Kripa Hanya Hare Chaitanya Chandra Batula Kera Kite Pare. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has fully bestowed his mercy on him. Who can keep home such a madman of Chaitanya Dev, of Chaitanya Chandra? So, all right, we can stop here. But it is a very sweet thing that, the father of Raghunath Das Goswami, he could recognize that his son, he didn't want this to happen. He's feeling he should stay home and do what he's supposed to do under the religious codes. But the followers of Chaitanya are mad. They don't care anything about anything. They're not concerned about any of that. What am I going to do? He's become a madman of Chaitanya Chandra. But he's saying, Chaitanya Chandra, they very much appreciated Mahaprabhu on some level. And they always supported the Vaishnavas. They were always giving money to Advaita Prabhu, that family. And that's where Raghunath Das Goswami met Mahaprabhu, at the home of Advaita Prabhu, because he was used to going there with his father. So they had very strong connections with the Vaishnava community already. So, Govardhan, the father of Raghunath Das, was praising Mahaprabhu. And although he doesn't want his son to go there and become completely indifferent to the world, he's like, what are we going to do? Can keep trying, but we know it's probably not going to happen. We probably will not be successful. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj ki jai. Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai. So now we're continuing to read the beautiful commentary on the 7th chapter by Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. The 7th verse of Upadesamrita. This is a very long commentary, and it's been collected I see. Haridev Prabhu?
Devi.
Are you able to hear?
Yeah, I'm here to hear.
So you have, this Gayatri mantra is here? This is yours?
Gayatri mantra. No, I have it on my phone.
Oh. Can you see if there's any questions or anything before we continue? Jai Jai, Sri Upadesamrita ki Jai,
Jai.
Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai, Jai Sad Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Hari Bol. Anything before we start Upadesamrita?
Krishna Prabhu says Dandavat.
Okay.
And let's see YouTube.
All right, no questions. Huh? Okay.
1 second, 1 second, 1 second.
Or comment?
On Facebook, nothing, but on YouTube. But Money says Dandavat, I'm not very used to the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Jai.
Nothing.
All right then, good. Okay. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jiva vegam udara pasta vegam hetam vegam yo vishaheta dira sarvam apimam pratibim sasisya atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangas sadvir bhakti punashati atyahara prayasascha utsaha nishchayadaryat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vite sad yeah.
I believe that in the second line of the verse 2, maybe you said the second line of verse 3.
Oh, did I say sangatyagat?
You said Sangatyaga.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I said then prosidati and then you said vinasati.
Sorry, spacing out. Okay, we'll try again. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangas chaloyam cha sadvir bhakti vinashati utsaha nishchayadaryat tat karma pravartanat sangatyakas vite sadvir bhakti prasidjati. I'm still thinking about something else. Dadati pratigratnati guhyam makyati prichati bhungte bhojayate jaiva sadvidam pritilakshanam krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranati bisha pajantamisham shushushaya bhajavigyam bhajana vigyam ananyamanya nindari shunya hridamipsita sangalabdya Tishtai svabhava janite vapushascha doshe na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pasyed gangam basam na kalu budbudapena panke Brahmatavatvam apagachati niradharmai. That's verse number 6. And now verse number 7. Shat Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya pito patapta rasanas ya narochikanu kinvadarananudinam kalu saiva Jista Swadvikarmad Bhavati Tad Gadamulahantri. And this, of course, is about the sugar candy of Krishna's names, which cure the jaundice. The jaundice of the tongue, which does not allow us to feel and taste that sweetness. Oh, so now this is the Namabas portion of this commentary. This is so Namabas are the shadow forms of the name. So we're going back to page 164 in the bottom. Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Then there is Hela. Hela means without any attention and only through a slack habit. Suppose one is rising from bed and yawns, Hare Krishna. Then they are taking the name, but not devotedly or attentively. They are taking the name without attention, only by some reflex action. This is Hela. It's a shadow of the name. To take the name hatefully is also an instance of Hela. There is an example given as such, not hatefully toward the name, but hatefully towards something else and saying the name. Once a Mohammedan was attacked by a boar, and he suddenly cried out, Haram, haram. Haram means boar, but ha can be a vocative term, a way of calling someone. And Ram means Ramachandra. So although the full word haram means hog, when it is disconnected as ha Ram, it means oh Ram. So when this particular Lyabanam Mlecha said haram, haram hatefully, or in fear of the boar, there was namabas in his case. There are so many who may say haram, haram, but it is not that such pronunciation is always namabas. In this particular case, it was namabas, and so the Mohammedan received liberation. This is written in a Purana. There were eyewitnesses, they could see this, and they have recorded it. They could perceive this miracle happen. In this way, there are 4 kinds of namabas: Sanketya, Parihasa, Stoba, and Helana. Madhura Maduram Metam Mangalam Mangalanam Shakala Nigamma Bali Satpalam Chit Swarupam Sakritapi Parigitam Shadaya Helayava Priguvaranara Matram Tar Aye Krishnanam. The name of Krishna, the sweetest of the sweet, the most auspicious of the auspicious, the eternal spiritual fruit from the vine of the Vedas, delivers a human being when he is chanted even once faithfully or negligently. We're saying delivers a human being. That does not necessarily come to the positive plane. But in the case of, we just read about a Jamil, that did not, his chanting of Narayan did not bring him to the spiritual platform, but it gave him liberation. And he remained alive, and remembering his previous good life, he now practiced actual attentive chanting. And then he got the transcendental position. So it's not that Namabas will give us divine service. That is not the case. I mean, anything can happen, Krishna can do anything, but that is not to be expected. When the name is pronounced either with faith or with indifference, with indolence, in both cases, we find that sometimes one gets the advantage of Namabas and attains liberation. Namabas can sever our connection with the negative side. It can give the passport, but not the visa. Not admission into the admission to enter the higher realm. That is reserved for the agents of Vaikuntha. That is the sadhus. It is reserved for them to enlist and issue visas. So, yasya prasadam bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. It is by the mercy of Krishna that one gets Guru. And it is by the mercy of Guru that one gets Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Ji Ki Jai. So appreciation of Krishna without Guru. This is the low position. This is not not a good understanding at all. Vaikuntha nama grahanam asheshaga haram vidu. For there to be namabhas, the name must somehow have connection with Vaikuntha, with the Nirguna. So, not that everyone is saying, who is saying haram, meaning a pig, is getting namabhas. When somehow or other, by saying that name, some awakenment happens, some connection like that from some sukriti, then it can be namabhas. Otherwise we'd all be liberated, just by accidentally combining two syllables that come to Rama. Or the name must come in connection with the relativity of the infinite, the absolute. If there is any connection with the mundane, then that is aparad. If there is any achievement or aspiration connected with this mundane world, the land of exploitation, then there is aparad. Vaikuntha nam grahanam means there must be some connection with Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means kunta shunya, that which is infinite, nirguna, without material qualities. Somehow some connection, some touch with the nirgun must be there. Asheshaga harang vidu. The name affects liberation, otherwise it will be aparad. So who knows what is happening in the consciousness of a person who accidentally, or in one of these other namabhas ways, connects with the name, but there is some sort of understanding or consciousness of the divine, even though it is not said in that in the sense of devotion. Namnosya yavati shakti papa nirharane hare tavakartum na shaknoti patakam pataki janaha. One who has not the capacity to commit any quantity of sin. One has not, no one has the capacity to commit any amount of sin which only one Vaikuntha Nam can wash away. In other words, there is no amount of sin which one Vaikuntha Nam cannot eradicate. There is no amount of sin that one Vaikuntha Nam, one drop of light will vanquish darkness. That's it. And it might have been darkness for 1 billion years, but the light comes in and it's not dark anymore. One Vaikuntha Nam, reality will always defeat illusion, any amount of illusion. Only a flash of a second of Vaikuntha Nam can do away with all the charm of this sinful world, the world of exploitation, the world of give and take, the world of eating on loan, of enjoying on loan. On loan means you got to pay it back with interest. Guru Maharaj said, with interest, it has to be paid back. Enjoyment means to incur a debt in this world. But this negative side, this negative entanglement, is nothing to one who has got some taste for Vaikuntha Nam, which is a Sheshaga Haram, the remover of all sin. It can remove all those tendencies in us. It can remove the tendency, the taste for these things. Once a Brahmin cut jokes with Haridas Thakur when Haridas Thakur said that the real consequence of taking the name is that one gets bhakti. or service in Vaikuntha, and that by Namabhas, not even the pure name, but by Namabhas, one can attain to mukti. Koti janme brahma gyani jay mukti noy, e kahe namabhas se mukti hoy. So we just now read this conversation. The Brahmin boy could not tolerate this idea. He said, what does this fellow say? Because, the Brahmins were the high grade people. And he couldn't stand it. You think that just by saying one Namabhas, one gets liberation, when we, the Brahmins, it's practically and we have to work really hard at it. But only, we're the only ones who can, He couldn't stand it. He was very envious about this statement.
Who was envious?
This Brahmin who was in the group that Haridas Thakur was speaking to. And this Brahmin boy could not tolerate this idea. He said, what does this fellow say? Mukti is such a great and high thing. If we study the Vedanta and teachings such as Aham Brahmasmi and Tat Vamasmi, we meditate for crores of lives, then hardly we can attain emancipation or liberation. Even after that, it's still not guaranteed. But this fellow, this Mohammedan Pira, says that only by Namabhas we can get mukti. He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand this idea. Why not? Such good news. Haridas Thakur replied, quote, it is written in the Shastra, and you have knowledge of the Shastra. Haridas Thakur then quoted a shloka to prove his conclusion, but the Brahmin boy, his name was Gopal, became furious and abused him very much. Haridas Thakur felt pain and went away. Later, a great curse came down on that Brahmin boy, and within a few days, he was attacked with leprosy because he had insulted, more than insulted, he had attacked a pure devotee. And that Haridas Thakur's pain was, to hear such a thing, very mean-hearted thing. So Namabhas, a slight or hazy connection with the Lord and His name, His most magnanimous name, may do away with all of our sins throughout innumerable lives. It is possible because He is so great and we are so meager. Still, all these forms of Namabhas should be eliminated. We're not looking for mukti. They're not proper. They're not the proper approach to that sweet name, that divine name. We must approach the name properly, not in these ways. And the real name, which is one and the same with the Lord, should be taken. The sound aspect must be one and the same with the original aspect of the thing. That is Vaikuntha Nam. Here in this world, a man may be blind, but his name may be Padmalochan or lotus-eyed. The name and the figure may be different, but in Vaikuntha, in the infinite world, everything is one and the same. So he's saying, in this world, someone may be blind, but his name may be lotus-eyed. That's the name and the man are different in many ways, but the name and the Lord are not different. All right, so some time. In Kali Yuga, the service of the name especially has been recommended in a general way, but it is mentioned, Sadhu Sange Krishtanam e Matrachai. We are to climb up to the real name, or we can take the proper name, Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha Nam Grahanam Asheshaga Haram Vidu. It is true that an infinite magnitude of sin may be removed by one name, but that must be Vaikuntanam. Asheshaga Haram. Unlimited sin may be dismissed, but Vaikuntanam Grahanam, that name must have the characteristic of Vaikunta, the unlimited plane of eternity, not only the physical sound. So Sadhu Sangha, the name must be taken from Gurudev, must be received from Gurudev, and with the sadhu it should be chanted. Whatever process we do, the most important tenor of our movement should be that if we want a guarantee that is for the satisfaction of Krishna, then the agent through whom I am doing it is of genuine character. It depends on that. Very much depends on that. Guru Maharaj said this is a point that should not be neglected. The quality of the sadhu, the quality of the Vaishnava from whom we are receiving mercy, that will determine what plane of service is possible for us to attain. Whatever process we do, the most important tenor of our movement should be that if we want a guarantee that it is for the satisfaction of Krishna, if we want a guarantee that the name is for, chanting the name is for the satisfaction of Krishna, then the agent through whom I am doing it is of a genuine character. That must be the situation. Don't just go to the guru catalog and pick the one who has, all the stuff I like. It's that curly hair and that big red dot and the nice voice. He plays the sitar. But he's always doing kirtan, always. It has to be of a genuine character. That name must be received, which is of a genuine character, that it is chanted for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that agent through which I am making progress, he also must be of a genuine devotional personality. It depends upon that. So here we'll continue again. I think we can probably repeat this small paragraph tomorrow to stay on that topic. So Guru Maharaj is saying, we don't be, he's telling the general people, and especially the general people in India, which, there is the neighborhood guru, the kind of family guru, the traditional guru. There are all kinds of gurus. But he's saying, don't just, be lazy. You need to find the highest level of, you have to know what is the highest level of guru. You have to know what is the highest goal of life and the trajectory of your life. And then you must select a guru from that group. Don't be lazy. Don't just, what are you doing, honey? Well, I'm just going to get myself a guru today. It's been on my list for a long time. We have to really be very, very careful. So in our Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, we have great, great prospect for taking shelter of this holy sampradaya and receiving the name through their grace of such personalities. So we are very, very fortunate. We're hearing from them. We're trying to repeat what they're saying, trying to imbibe what they're saying, trying to practice according to tat karma pravartana, trying to do the proper practices in the proper mood, Satovate, the highest association with the great saints. This has all been arranged by them for the upliftment of all souls. And we want to keep our temples in a very pure condition. And the sounds which are to be heard in these temples should be divine and truthful. Jai Sri Sri Upadesamrita ki jai, Sri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Sad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Hari Bol. Any question from you, Prabhu? Darasapati Kashi Shri Guru Gaura Chandra Ju Giriraj Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories, all glories. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Ganga Jamuna Ji Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Tadiya Shakama Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Dandavat.
Srimati Sri Lekha Devi Dasi Ki
Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev.
Srimati Prabhu Kumkum Devi says Jai morning class, Dandavat to all the devotees.
Jai.
And then Bhakti Moni Devi.
Happy to have your company. Dandavat.
Dandavat.